What's up, everybody? Welcome to another live edition of the Ad Podcast coming to you from the Palais here at Cannes. We have Gabby Ludzker, the CEO of Rapp Uk, here joining us to share a little bit of her insights and what she's up to at Cannes. Gabby, thanks for coming on.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
So, Gabby, tell me a little bit about yourself, your role at Rapp, and what are you up to these days?
So I'm Gabby. I'm from London. I'm the CEO of Rapp. On the side, I have a 6 and an 8-year-old.
Nice.
Two girls. So it's a busy life. Busy life. But Rapp's about 500 people. We're a precision marketing agency. We're part of OPMG at Omnicom.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And what brought you to Cannes this year?
We very busy at Cannes this year. We're speaking on many panels.
Nice.
And having lots of meetings and hosting clients, and it's a big work week for us.
I bet. Yeah, I think I'm 9 interviews yesterday. I think I'll do 11 today. So yeah, great target-rich environment for people like me to talk to agency leaders and folks like yourself.
Yeah.
So we talked a little bit off camera about a new creative framework that you are applying to the business of precision marketing across the group. Do you want to maybe dive into that a little bit? Tell me a little bit more. Yeah.
So it's the brainchild of Troy Hitch, who's our global chief creative officer. And he had this idea brewing for a while, and now in the age of AI, it's like coming to life, and it's so exciting.
Prophetic in a way.
Absolutely prophetic. I would use that word. I love that word.
Yeah.
So it's called A Million Little Big Ideas, and the whole premise behind it is that we cannot operate in the same way as we did before, with brands coming up with big brand platforms that exist in 60-minute ads or 30-minute ads, and that's it, that's all you have. We're in an age of precision, we're in an age of personalization, and it is perfectly possible for ideas that are big enough and brands that are strong enough to maintain the essence of those ideas, but to tell those stories in a million different ways, right? In a million different ways, so that things can be iterated for every single consumer and every single customer.
Yeah, I love that, because brands that are global have global awareness, so people know who they are and what they stand for.
Yeah.
Campaigns have a human insight that hopefully translates across humanity.
Yeah.
But then it needs to be translated regionally.
Yes.
By demographic, by affinities, and then even by
personality,
human being.
By personality.
Yeah, I love that.
So we go down even to a personality level, or down to, we have this proprietary research called the value levers, which basically seeks to establish what are the levers of value for every individual? Mm-hmm. Is it a community thing? Is it purpose? Is it financial?
Yeah.
But everyone's different. Everyone reacts differently. So you can tell stories to tailor things to those people. And then there was this amazing article that was published this morning by the FT, by Dan Thomas. I read it this morning about DE&I and the trouble that everyone's having these days, in
keeping their programs alive, essentially.
Or kind of reverting back, pulling back from diverse advertising. And I was thinking to myself, oh my God, this is the answer.
Do you mean on the screen or within culture, or both?
Both.
Yeah.
Everyone at Super Bowl, it was all kind of old school ads.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking to myself, we have the answer for this.
Yeah.
We're sitting on it. A million little big ideas can tailor work and creative to people to suit them, to be inclusive of everyone, because it's tailored to the individual. Mm-hmm. So it works across many. It wasn't created for that, but it's absolutely applicable.
Yeah, that's really interesting, because inclusivity might be different if I have a gay son or a multiracial family,
Absolutely.
Or if maybe. Inclusivity changes based on people's upbringings, age, cultural perceptions.
Yes.
It doesn't need to be kind of ubiquitously ubiquitously communicated out, from a messaging perspective. That's really interesting.
And then that elevates the importance of data then. Because you then can use your data signals to talk to the right person in the right way at the right time, using the right piece of creative, the right medium. And then AI, generative AI, to create these million different versions of the narrative. But it puts a different onus on marketers to create work that is truly elevated enough that it can be declined. So it's not going to be an easy job, but that's the kind of work we're doing at Rapp.
AI is not going to take our jobs. It's going to make our jobs just harder to use all these channels in a way that's effective.
It gives us infinite possibilities to do more personalized and precise work.
I love it. So this makes tons of sense to me in the
Yeah.
perspective of text, static imagery. I haven't
And
quite,
motion.
I haven't seen a
Yes.
video. It's there. I'm sure you're probably closer to it because I'm a consumer of the work, and I work on campaigns and stuff like that from time to time. But I've seen a lot of stuff as a consumer. I'm in this interesting moment where I'll be scrolling through social.
Yeah.
There will be things that are obviously AI for AI's sake, which are very fantastic and exciting to watch. It's almost like watching like special effects. And then every once in a while, you'll see a video where it's like, oh my gosh, I don't know if it's AI or not. And then I watch it 5 or 10 times just to see if I can figure it out. It reminds me of like classic ad fatigue. Like when something is new, it's more effective for a period of time before everybody becomes used to it. But I feel like I'm still seeing videos mainly where I can like, at least like, I might have to watch it 10 times, but I think I can tell the difference. Are you saying there's things that are out there so far where you can't tell the difference to the trained eye?
Yes, they're few and far
Wow.
between, but they'll be coming.
Okay. Yeah. What kind of a timeline do you think we are from one-to-one personalization when it pertains to video content?
That's such a good question. That's a brilliant question. I mean, we put bets on that.
Yeah.
I'm going to go 8 months.
Wow.
Come back to me in 8
That
months
is amazing.
and we'll have a discussion.
And what's the tech stack that you think is most advanced that you're seeing? Like, is it Adobe stuff?
No, that honestly is like it's a race right now.
Right.
And it depends
Everybody's-
what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
Because we're looking at all these different platforms and all the different companies and agencies that are bringing it. And each of them have an element that is a true point of difference.
Mhm.
But I don't think anyone is standing head and shoulders above the rest across the board. Does that make sense? There
Yeah,
are
100%.
tools that are brilliant at one thing and not at another.
Yeah.
And what I'm excited about is either the first person to get there on everything, or more interestingly, because we're very tech agnostic, so we'll use the tech that our clients want to use that they've purchased already that's right for them.
Yeah.
Here's how you piece it all together. Like, let's pick the best of the best of
And then how do you
everything
integrate it?
and integrate it within our clients' systems so that we can make it actually actionable for them
Yeah.
and work off their data,
Smart.
right?
Yeah.
Especially when you're working in like financial services where it's like a highly regulated
Yeah,
environment. We have to be
anything that
careful.
has regulation,
Yes.
pharmaceuticals.
I have a number of these
B2B.
type of clients
Okay, got it.
where we have to be very careful,
Yeah,
so we
yeah.
have to do it safely.
Mhm.
And that's where it might be interesting for us to piece the pieces of puzzles together.
I love it. So, any other topics that you're speaking on this week?
So I did a talk yesterday on changing the language of leadership
Okay.
and changing the stats to get more female leadership, basically
Nice.
in our industry.
How are the
And-
statistics? I haven't checked in a little while, but I think there was like good progress made during COVID and in kind of the post George Floyd world,
Yeah.
and then we kind of backslid again, I think, is
Yeah.
what the statistics
They're
said last
saying-
time I saw.
They're saying that we will have to make insane drastic change to get to 50-50 by 2028. Like they're almost saying it's not possible, which I'm really surprised by.
Yeah,
it
especially because
doesn't
women are
feel
more
it.
educated now, they're more career driven than men, I feel
But-
like.
Yeah. I mean, we're 50%.
Yeah.
We have a 50%
And like
split in
55%
leadership.
of US-based college graduates now.
Yeah.
Some more so, yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, that's interesting. So, and the concept was around the language of leadership. Do you want to unpack that a little bit of the types of things you guys talked about?
So it was about. So they were asking kind of the type of leadership that's required today, and how people still expect you to come with kind of masculine leadership styles, and what kind of language that you want to throw in the bin,
So
basically.
join the boys club,
Yeah.
act like a guy, act
You
like
know.
basically take on the traits of traditional male leaders versus being intrinsically. I think the reason the female leader, like I've only worked for 2 CEOs in the industry. One was a first generation Chinese 19-year-old kid. Really
Amazing.
fun experience with
Yeah.
that culture and understanding how that culture works. The other was with a female CEO owner. Another interesting statistic is that only 1% of agencies of the Fortune 500 that are used are owned by women. So
Yeah.
as much as we see these amazing female leaders who are CMOs, we don't see it reflected in the sourcing of agencies that are either run by or owned by women,
Yeah.
which I think is another, kind of statistic that needs to be looked at and continue to be drawn upon. But, I definitely, of the two cultures that I have to compare us at, hands down, the female leader was the winner in my opinion. I think from a results perspective of like how we delivered and how we grew the business, but also just I stayed there for 8 years because it was an absolutely fabulous place to show up and work every single day. And it was not dramatic. It was about work hard, play hard, and it had a nurturing female touch to kind of course throughout the entire agency. And I had such a great partnership with my CEO because, she was able to basically have 3 kids, take 6-month maternity leaves 3 times. Yeah. I ran the agency for her while she was gone.
Amazing.
We did 1 monthly check-in. She barely had to, she was still, in control of the financials and everything, but the day-to-day, she completely trusted me and let me take the ball for 6 months.
Brilliant.
It's great.
It's really interesting. I have an amazing team around me, and I was able to take, in the UK, we take 12 months mat leave, which is such a precious time, a precious time. And I actually brought someone in for my first mat leave that I'd met. I was working in Singapore at the time, a Brit. I brought him over to take
as an interim or because you knew you were going to be taking that time to kind of groom for that moment?
No, I found out I was pregnant. I was promoted to CEO, and they said, I said, I'm pregnant. They said, great, hire someone quick.
Nice.
So I hired this guy as an MD because I was the MD.
Yeah.
So I had to replace myself.
Yeah, you replaced yourself.
But he stayed for many, many years, and was a really fabulous partner in crime to me. But coming back from mat leave and being able to take that time, and then coming back and needing more flexibility, has had a massive impact on me and my leadership style and what I put in place in the company, because I couldn't do what I do without that flexibility, and I need to make sure that every person in my organization has that same flexibility.
Yeah,
so what I was talking about yesterday was I'm a rule breaker, rule breaker CEO. Anyway, I do it anyway. So during COVID, for example, I broke all the rules to help people be able to show up to work and still take the time to care for sick relatives, to have children on their lap, to do what they needed to do. But now I've had to create policies that make it okay for everyone to have those benefits every day. So, we have a lot of
it doesn't feel punitive to those who don't have children or have decided to not have children or...
Yeah, because it's about, we put in carer policies for people who look after elderly relatives. It's not just for people with children. There's so many different types of flexibility that are needed in today's world. Whether you make exclusions for people coming into the office because of neurodiversity, or, there's just a million different ways that you can help people do a great job and, be their best selves at work.
Yeah, but I think the culture that fosters is people want to work more and work harder because they have that flexibility. Like, if I go to the gym at 10 o'clock, I'm going to maybe work till 8 o'clock that night or something like that. I'm going to work on the weekends. And it doesn't, people oftentimes are looking for work-life balance. I think when you allow that type of flexibility, you create work-life integration.
Yes.
Where work and life flow seamlessly into each other without these siloed walls that have to be built up to say, well, I'm chained to my desk during this time, so when I'm not chained to my desk, I'm out, I'm not picking up my phone, I'm doing my own thing over here, and I'll see you in the morning. So I think you get more out of people when you have that type of culture.
And also, is there work life anymore? Is it just life? And it's like part of your existence, your identity. I know it is for me.
Very cool. Well, if people want to learn more about what you guys are up to at Rapp, where should they go? And if people want to connect with you directly, where do you want to point them?
Oh my goodness. Well, come to me direct.
Let's go.
Let's start direct. Let's start direct on LinkedIn. Find us on Rapp.com. But we'd love to talk to you. I think really, let's have a meeting. Let's talk. That's our best way of connecting.
Thanks so much. Appreciate you coming on.
Pleasure. Thank you.